Argentina holds presidential elections. It will end 12 years of Kirchner government that's had their share of social change and controversies. CCTV's Joel Richards is live from Buenos Aires with more. Joel.
Susan, these elections represent a major change for Argentina. Whoever wins the key to the building behind me, which you can see, the presidential palace here in Buenos Aires, will bring a different type of leadership and a different set of policies to those which have governed the country for the last 12 years. But leaving the presidency is Cristina Fernández de Kirchner with high approval ratings, some say as high as 50%, meaning that the outgoing president is having a strong influence on these elections. Every week here in Buenos Aires, members of the Camper, a political youth organisation, run workshops for local children. Franco Vitti is in his late 30s and he joined the Camper 4 years ago.
One of the things that most caught my attention is that Nestor and Cristina show us that the politics is the way of changing the life of people, is changing the reality of a country.
The Camper has been controversial in Argentina. Government opponents say it has too much power. The Camper has supported 12 years of Kirchner governments that cut poverty and unemployment, punished perpetrators of Argentina's so-called dirty war, and broadened social rights like gay marriage. But their governments were also plagued by high inflation and Argentina's stumbling economy. This presidential campaign has polarised voters. Some feel underwhelmed by candidates running for presidency. Former sportsman and Buenos Aires province governor Daniel Scioli is the frontrunner and has campaigned on continuity of the Kirchner policies, promising only minor adjustments. This is the final event of the campaign trail for Daniel Scioli. The government candidate is clearly leading according to the polls. The only real question is whether or not he'll take an outright win on Sunday. Recent polls indicate the election could be too close to call in the first round. Hoping to take the vote to a second round is the former Buenos Aires city mayor, Mauricio Macri, the conservative candidate viewed as more pro-business. The third contender, Sergio Massa, one-time cabinet chief for Cristina Fernández, who broke with the government. All candidates represent a new direction for Argentina.
Most people, 85%, want some kind of change. They do not want this change to be from one day to another. They want a gradual change. And this is the point. They're trying to decide who will do that without altering everyday life.
With approval ratings over 50%, Kirchner supporters say the outgoing president will still play an important role.
I think Cristina have the vision. Cristina is the ideas and the objectives of the party right now. Cristina gonna keep being the leader of the movement.
But all three candidates have promised change. The only question for voters then is how sweeping those changes might be.
Well, Joel, tell us, what is the biggest thing on everyone's mind as they go to the polls? Obviously inflation, I would assume.
That's right, Susan. The economy really is the key issue here. The real debate is exactly how the candidates propose to tackle these issues. As you mentioned, there's very high inflation. Growth has slowed, as it has across the world, but particularly felt here in Argentina, which relies heavily on commodities. So the argument really and the debate is centering around how the different candidates propose to turn around and to revamp the economy here. Daniel Scioli, the government candidate, says he'll maintain many of the government policies, tweaking a few ideas here and there, whereas Mauricio Macri, the second-placed candidate in the poll, said he'll look for a much more open economy. So that really is the decision that Argentines will have to think about ahead of tomorrow's elections.